Okay, grade 5s and 6s, this is about circle graphs and understanding how to look at and read circle graphs, okay? So the first thing you have to know about a circle graphs is that they are always about the whole. So a whole circle, in this case, this circle, means everything, everybody that was asked the question, the whole group of people. So for example, if you were making something like this about the school, you would have to ask every student in the school. If you didn't ask every student, if you only asked some of the students, you couldn't make a circle graph. You could still do a bar graph, but you couldn't make a circle graph because this is about everybody, the whole thing. And what that means, and you can actually see it here in this work, is that you have percentages, and those percentages, when you add them together, equal 100%. 100% being all. And you can see that if I add these together, that's 15, 22, 4, 6, 7, see, 100%. If I add all of those percents together, I get a whole, I get all, okay? And that's really, really important to remember about circle graphs. The second thing you have to remember about circle graphs is that they really are just another way of talking about fractions. But you don't have to be afraid of them because this is a simple way of talking about fractions, okay? All right, so let's look at some questions and some examples on how to read this circle graph. All right, so let's start out with what flavor is the most popular. Well, that's obviously this flavor right here. It's the biggest amount, right? So chocolate is the most popular, okay? And that's a really simple question. And if it asked which flavor was the least favorite, you would say this one right here, mint chocolate chip, is the least favorite. That's really easy to see. You can see that represented on the graph. Now, how about this next one? How many kinds of ice cream are there? And what are they? Well, that's also actually really simple if you know what you're looking at. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 kinds, and those kinds are chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and mint chocolate chip. Just like that, okay? Which ice cream is a bit less popular than chocolate? This isn't a question about what is the least popular. It's about what's a little bit less popular than chocolate. So the answer for this is vanilla. Every flavor here is less popular than chocolate, but vanilla is only a little bit less popular. Everything else is a lot less popular. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. This question says about what fraction like vanilla. And this word about, this is really key. You don't know exactly. You're taking a guess. So you're going to look at this and you're going to think, oh, okay, I could divide this into, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3 pieces that are about the same size. So it looks to me like about 1/3 of the children like vanilla. See how that kind of divides into sort of equal size pieces? Okay? That's really important. You have to imagine in your head. So let's say it wasn't talking about vanilla. Let's say it was talking instead about strawberry right here. Now, obviously, that's not 1/3, is it? Okay, that's a lot less than 1/3. So again, what you do is you think in your head, okay, let me first cut the thing in half, because being in half is always helpful. You can't see my red on there, so let's do a different color, a red, okay? And then this one here goes across like that. So if I cut like this, oh wow, I've got about the same size pieces. I've got this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, and my strawberry piece. So I've cut that into about 6 equal pieces. The equal is important. So about 1/6 like strawberry. See how you have to cut into equal pieces? That's really key, okay? So if 10 children like mint chocolate chip, about how many like strawberry? Okay, now this gets interesting. This amount is 10. Now we look at this right here and we think, okay, interesting. If I cut this in half, oh wow, it looks like it's close to the same size as this. This is the same size as this, and that's the same size as that. It's not exactly, but it's close. So if this piece is 10 and this piece is 10, then the whole section is 20. So about 20 children like strawberry. Okay, so you see how I take the size of this, whatever size this is, and I look at how many times I can stick that inside here. And in this case, I can stick that inside 1, 2 times. So I have 10 times 2. That gives me my 20. All right, and then the last one here is if about 60 children like vanilla, about how many children like strawberry. So now we're going the other direction. So now we're taking this right here, and we're saying this whole thing is 60. The whole thing is 60, because that's my vanilla. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking at how many times does that go in. Well, it doesn't go in at all, does it? Because it's way bigger. But let me think about it. If I cut it in half, let's cut that in half. That piece right there is really close to the same size as this piece right here. See that? So half of this is the same as that. What's half of 60? Well, 60 divided by 2, because that's how we do halves, is 30. So there's about 30 who like strawberry. Okay. Now you'll notice I have 20 strawberry here and I have 30 strawberry here. Don't worry about that because the question is asking different things, okay? Both of these are saying if. We don't know for sure what is what, so we're not worried about that. Okay, so now we look at this movies chart here, and I don't actually put any questions in because we don't need any questions here. All right, but we can see that about half the kids like comedy movies. Right there, that's about half the kids, okay? So if this question, if we had asked 100 people, then the question is how many people liked comedy? Well, if all equals 100 and comedy is half, then we have to do half of 100. So 100 divided by 2 equals 50. So about 50 people like comedy. Okay, see how that works? And we just can continue this. So with this graph, we can do the same thing as the other. We can imagine cutting this into pieces. So for example, we cut that, making things about the same size. Oh, sorry, that wasn't quite right. Let me redo that. Okay, and this one here, we cut into 3 pieces. You see what I'm doing? I'm making all of them the same size as this. This is 5%. This is 5%. This is 5%. And this is 5%, which equals my 15%. And these are all 5%, which equals my 20%. And these are all 5%, okay? That's how we make this work. And then we can do the same thing over here, where we just divide into 5 pieces to make all of this work. Now you may not have percentages to tell you this, but if you have lines already on your graph, this will tell you, that will tell you what to do. So now you can easily see. So if this is 20 right here, if this piece is 20, then this is 20, and this is 20, and this is 20, and this is 20. So this entire section is 20, 40, 60, 80. See that? And this entire section is 60, 20, 40, 60. And this entire section is 40, 20, 40. And this entire section is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. This entire section is 200. So it's not a graph for 100, it's now a graph for 200. I've changed the value of what this is worth because I wanted to give you examples of how things can be manipulated and changed. But if you get told how much a section is worth, you can't just arbitrarily change it. I was changing it to show you that you can you can change the ideas and continue the pattern. I just wanted you to see the pattern. But if you get told that the horror is 9 people, if that's what you get told, that the horror is 9 people, and then they want to know how many people like action, okay? You know this is 9. Excuse me. You know this is 9. You know this section is action. So you're going to have 9 here, 9 here, 9 here, 9 here, which means 9 times 4 sections, which means there are 36 people who like action. That is the way it works. All right, so let me just look at your work quickly with you. All right, so grade 5s, this is your work. Sorry, this is not grade 5 work. This is grade 5 work here. Got a little bit out of order. All right. So you're going to look at this. You're just going to answer. You're going to use this graph, and you're going to answer all of the questions over here. They're really easy. Every single question here, I've done a similar example in my discussion already today. So there's no reason for you to have any trouble with this page because I've already showed you all this work. All right, here you can see they've actually given you lines on your page so you know each section. This is how many sections. So cereal has 4 sections, toast has 2 sections, waffle has 1 section, muffin has 3 sections, okay? So when you're looking at this, you want to know the fraction. So I'm going to do the first one together with you. This entire graph has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. So my bottom number is 10, and the people who like toast are 2 out of 10. If you write that, you will get half marks, but remember, you're supposed to always write fractions in simplest form, so you should write a final answer of 1/5. That's simplifying. You know how to do that. We've done this before. It's just a reminder, okay? Now, the next section, you need to know this information. There are 20 students in my class, so that means the whole thing is 20 kids. So what you need to figure out is how much each piece is. So for example, if this is 1 student, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, that does not equal 20, does it? If 1 piece equals 5 students, then we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. That also does not equal 20. What does 1 piece equal? Okay? And then once we know 1 piece equals, and you have to figure that out, then we can figure it out. So let's say, for example, 1 piece equals 5. We know 1 piece doesn't equal 5, but if it did, then waffles would be 5 and toast would be 10 because there's 2 pieces, 5, 10. But we know that this isn't 5 and 10 because we know 1 piece does not equal 5. So what does 1 piece equal? All right, grade 6s. You need to measure your angles. I have made a video for you explaining to you how to measure angles if you do not have a protractor. So use that video. I will not accept any excuses of, teacher, I don't have a protractor, because I've made a video showing you how to do it. So here you write the size of the angle. So for example, in the video, I told you that peanut butter had an angle of 75 degrees, so you would write 75 degrees in there, and you just need to measure all of them. Then you can answer these questions, which are very similar to the questions I discussed earlier in this lecture. All right? Then down here in this section, again, it's the same thing. So you're going to put the color, pink. You're going to put the size of the angle. Pink looks like about 25 degrees. I don't know if that's true or not, so don't just use that. And then you're going to guess, ooh, how much of the fraction? Well, here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that means there's 24. The whole thing is 24. So pink is 2 out of 24 pieces, or in simplest form, 1/12. And you're going to do that for every single one of them. Then you're going to do exactly the same thing for this right here. Same thing. Okay? And then you're going to answer your questions and think through your answers. If there are 100 green beads in box B, so this equals 100. Try and figure out how many blue, how many red, how many yellow. Okay? You can figure it out. Do your math. You can be very actual. I know it says estimate, but you can be quite precise in this. You don't have to guess. All right, thank you.